Hello everyone and welcome to the Talladega Superspeedway for the running of the Stand Up to Cancer 500 here in the Sundrop Cup Series. Of course, we have four races remaining, until we crown our season champion. Today it is Jay Jefferson on the pole, Cody Goforth in second, Jeff Alloway, Sebastian Kukulon, Carter Friesen inside your top 5 with Eves, Neal, Onjak, Benyako, and Hagen inside the top 10. But of course, every time we come to Talladega, it's always in the chase. It's always the pink out race weekend as you see some beautiful paint schemes out on the track today for some of these teams. We're ready to go racing, but we're ready to go through this field. And there is Jay Jefferson. Of course, had a horrible start to the chase. He's starting to rebound, having some of the best average finish in this chase run. That's Jay Jefferson in that 48 car. He starts on pole alongside Cody Goforth, who has already picked up a win during the chase. He is chasing down those top guys, 45 back from the battle between Kukulon and Morris. We'll see if the 17 can rebound today. Jeff Alloway has had speed at all of the super speedways so far, those being Daytona and Talladega now, which is his second ever super speedway race. He ran very well at Daytona in the fall, or in the summer, and almost got himself a race win. We'll see if he can do so today and be a playoffs or a chase spoiler here in that 91. Kukulon further up in fourth, Carter Friesen fifth. Friesen just trying to end this season on a high note, 92 points back, pretty much out of the championship fight. Matthew Eves, though, has to be careful what he does in this race. He came up just short of the Talladega win yesterday in the Truck Series. That's where he's fighting for the championship. Today, he's just fighting to get himself in victory lane. But you do not want to anger any of these guys that are fighting for a championship, especially when you aren't in this series, and some of them are in the other series. Onjak in the 44, of course, fighting for the championship here, has had a horrible run in the chase. He's 83 points back in that 44. He rolls off in 8th. Dusty Neal in 7th. Alex Benyako with the ovarian cancer, number 83. His final start at Talladega coming today. And Larry Hagen fighting for the light blue cancer awareness for prostate cancer. Brandon Morris in 12th in that Viagra, number 55. Tim Foster in 11th. That's some of your chase competitors. Joseph Strigley, Evan Hunter both rounding out in the top 15. Jesse Turner in the top 20. But Monster Motorsports, a horrible qualifying run. Anderson Reed rolls off in 20th. Zachary DeLello 21st. Matty Porta 24th. DJ Curtis 25th. Colton Lane 26th. The Diego Yepes 28th. So these Chevrolets are going to have to fight their way very quickly through the field today. Some other guys in the back, Stephen Wallace Jr., Eli Bright making his final start at Talladega, Nicky Morris in the 34, all the way back, Aiden Smith in the 01. But give a quick shout out to this 06 team, being Colton Yo this weekend, 5th in practice. So they had some speed this weekend, and I think if they could latch on to the draft, they could hang on. But it's going to be a tough ask after the slowest qualifying time in that 06 car. No matter what, we're getting ready to go down trackside for the commands to fire the engines. It's going to be 57 laps today at Talladega. Sure to be exciting. The Stand Up to Cancer 500 coming at you right after this. Let's go down trackside for the commands.
Drivers, start your engines!
Pepsi and the NSDCA have teamed up this season to bring you the Pepsi Pole Award for the fastest qualifier in all 26 Sundrop Cup Series races this season. And for the 6th time this season, a record-setting run by Jay Jefferson puts him back on pole. The 6th time this year he is starting in the first position, but he still only has one win on the year. Mr. Saturday, Jay Jefferson, looking to finally break that streak with another win at Talladega. We'll see if he can get there after 57 laps in the Stand Up to Cancer 500. With that, the engines are fired. We're getting ready to roll off here at Talladega. 57 laps ahead of us at the fastest track on the schedule. Jay Jefferson, Cody Goforth on the front row. The field of 40 coming across. Sure to be exciting. Got a lot of nice paint schemes out there supporting many different cancer awareness programs. Of course, most of them for breast cancer with the pink colors. You got some ovarian cancer, prostate cancer, and bone cancer all being repped here today. A fantastic event the NSDCA always puts on at Talladega and next week at Iowa. Doing some awareness for that. Sure to be exciting. 40 drivers rolling out here at Talladega. This is the fastest track on the schedule. Speeds reaching upwards of 203 miles per hour. We'll see how they do as they come around this corner, round down this back straightaway in 2 laps time. They'll be hitting 200, but for that first lap, it's all just an uphill battle with the restrictor plates on these cars. Slightly different package to years past, a bit of a heavier restrictor plate. We'll see if that will change how these guys race, how these guys run, if it will reduce speeds just a little bit. in this field and maybe allow for some people to make runs. But everyone's trying to make a run on the 19 of Kukulon right there, rolling off in P4. The 19 team has been unstoppable this season. We thought Onjak would be the one able to get there. Onjak has not had a great chase, has had multiple DNFs, multiple issues, and poor qualifying runs, and just poor breaks in the races in general for that 44 team. Trying to bring himself back up in these final 4 races. It's going to be a heck of a challenge for anyone probably outside of the 55, but Talladega is the ultimate wildcard race. You're going to see these guys fighting for 57 laps. It's a race of attrition, a race of survival, and a race of getting yourself into the right position at the right time. We'll see if the 19 team has that luck today. If the 48 of Jefferson can go back to victory lane once again at Talladega. You got Cody Goforth alongside him, Jeff Alloway behind him, who's never won an NSDCA event. And as they come down this front straightaway, 40 cars taking their pace laps to come on down. The stands are packed. The field is ready. Jefferson and Goforth leading us down. As they come through the long tri-oval, the green flag is in the air, and we are racing at the Talladega Superspeedway. Down the backstretch, 2x2, 3 wide with Benyako Foster already back there as the 17 of Goforth got an absolutely fantastic start, jumped out, couldn't clear the 48 yet. We saw in the truck race the inside line is definitely the preferred line, but the outside can fight. We'll see if Goforth can hang on the outside here. You see him pushing down, side drafting that 48. No one is helping Jefferson there. They all jump to the bottom trying to get their noses clean. Friesen's going to be one shoved up there, but here they come through the tri-oval for the first time. Jefferson's going to lead that lap, but for how long as Jeff Alloway jumps to the inside that 98 or 91, trying to make a move? Not going to happen. Still 2x2 up in front as we come around. First of 57 laps, I apologize, for this race under the books as Jay Jefferson leads them back down the back straightaway again. And you see that pack 2 and 3 wide all throughout this. Foster looking to the very bottom, trying to make something happen. Benyako, Morris, Onjak, real close there, 3 wide between those 3 as they come on through. And as always, this is a good track to see those bright yellow spoilers on the back, definitely contrasting with the pink colors, but you'll see where all your chase competitors, chase contenders are as they come on through. As Jay Jefferson leading again. Looks like he'll lead 2 laps in the books for that 48, and just like in the truck race, the 48 jumps out to the early lead. However, Goforth is not giving up just yet, but I think with Friesen being shuffled up, that's going to separate that outside line, and that number 17 Gold Peak T Toyota Camry is going to drop back on the outside. And you see 2, 3, maybe 4 wide in the pack back there. Just a mass of cars. You can't really tell who's who. You can't really see where anyone is as Irving Allison jumps out further back. 2 and 3 wide. 3 wide works as long as you give each other a little bit of room. 4 wide on these straightaways, though, can get very tricky very quickly. You got to really wait for the corners to go 4 wide as Austin Johnson has some left side damage to that car, so someone must have ran into the side of him. That 51 car beat up already for that race team. As you see all the way back, it looks like Alex Fletcher just barely hanging on. Now Jeff Alloway looking for second, or trying to maintain second over Jefferson. Foster had third, but Morris is going to jump to his inside with Bowers, Freeze, and Goforth working back there. You see Kukulon shoved wide all the way to the back, so that is what these guys want to see, is some of those guys up front having bad days. If the 19 and 55 both ended up having a bad day today, that could be big in the title hunt. But no, Morris is going to jump to the inside of Alloway, look for that second position, and try to line himself up behind the 48, who has been so dominant at Talladega. TSR has had pretty much the dominant package at super speedway racing for years now, and this 48 car is no different. He is moving himself and grooving into the race lead. Morris second, Bowers third, Alloway and Friesen fighting for that 4th position as they come down the front straightaway. Bowers is going to make that move, looking a bit further back, 2 and 3 wide still with Larry Hagan, 4 wide back here. Colton Lane, Zachary DeLello, Onjak getting real close, and that is something you do not want to see. These yellow banners do not want to see themselves in the wall, unless of course it's the 19 car or the 55 who has been dominating the chase so far. Everyone wants to try to gain as many spots as they can, but with the 55 and 19 both having competitive cars today, that's going to be a very difficult task. Bowers now moves himself into second behind Jefferson. Third is Friesen. Matthew Eves bringing up the CFRO Alliance in fourth, as Tib Foster in that 40 just went from top to bottom real quick there. Bowers trying to get a nose out to the inside of Jefferson. It's not going to happen there. Carson Bowers still winless in the Cup Series after 2 seasons full-time here, looking to get himself back into victory lane if he can today. He is glued to the back bumper of that 48 car. Is Evan Hunter, a fantastic drive by the 35. He's been having a very poor Mountain Dew Custom Series campaign this year. Very happy to see him running so well in the Sundrop Cup Series, as he's been called up to run some cup races. Friesen now jumps to the bottom. Field starting to spread out a little bit, 2x2 up in front though. Burkhart clears into fifth. Alex Beniaco, Max Anderson bringing up the field. There's Strigley, and we're going to go back to the middle of the pack. There's Kukulon now, 22nd in that 19 truck, joining Anderson Reed, Peter Onjak, and Zachary DeLello, pretty much just barely hanging on to the top 30 positions there, and trying to hang on to this front pack as Ryan Butcher and Sebastian Kukulon have a big gap between them. Looking to the very back, there's Austin Johnson, Colton Yo. As we said, if that 06 can stay with the pack, he could have a good finish today. Luke Evans trying to hang on, and Alex Fletcher is not. But up in front now, Carter Friesen, who jumped to second a little while ago, might try to make a move on your race leader, or it will be Evan Hunter making that move in the 35. Foster's going to be the first one stepping out of line, though, as they come down this back straightaway, and Evan Hunter is going to jump for it. And as we saw in the truck race, you do not want to fight and squabble for that second position, because it'll just let the race leader pull away, and it's going to be very difficult to stop this 48 car when he's out in front. Plus, you got some of the underpowered guys up here, the 35, the 99, the 83, the 12 getting into the top 10. But I think this 40, a Tib Foster, you know how fast he is. You know how strong he's been this season. He's one of those guys fighting for a championship, 80 points back from the 19 of Kukulon. We'll see what he can do today in this 40 as he moves himself to the second position past Evan Hunter. Give a shout out to Max Anderson, going Mountain Dew Custom Series racing next season, leaving the Cup Series and RER, trying to put on a good show for the fans here in this final attempt for RER's Cup program at Dega, and he's up inside the top 10, still trying to get his first career win. He's been here 2 years in the NSDCA, ran part-time in the Mountain Dew Custom Series last year. He ran a couple truck races, mostly ran the DPDS, and got the call up to the Cup Series. Likewise, Lotus Disparito did pretty much the same thing. Lotus ended up leaving her 81 ride and dropping back to part-time in multiple divisions. Max Anderson staying strong in that K-Love number 12. He's fighting for the Rookie of the Year, though I don't think he's going to be anywhere near it as they go. Looking back up front, though, Foster up to second, as now SBR lining up third and fourth. Remember, this time SBR has no loyalty to the 45 as they're 4 wide at the back end. Oh, gosh, Alex Fletcher, do not do what Christian Vargas did, but I am afraid he's going to. As they come back up, they could be 4 wide. Irving's trying to give as much room as they can. They separate. Might have been some contact between the BGM cars, and that is going to kill that second pack entirely. Kukulon is in it. Onjak, Porta, and Curtis now, as this front pack's going to split up, as Tib Foster has taken the lead away from Jay Jefferson, and that second pack's going to have to form back up in a hurry to try to catch back up to that front pack, because now we have a very big gap. They're 2 and 3 wide up front, but they are 3 by 3 back here, with Alex Fletcher coming back off of pit road. William Duncan forced 4 wide. Kukulon in that 19. That is a big loss if he ends up back here and we don't get a caution, which could happen here at Dega. But with the way these guys have been racing, that is big. And now Peter Onjak is leading this second line, and I expect these guys to try to work with him, because he definitely has the fastest car in this group. But look at this 3 by 3 up in front as Foster is taking the lead here at Talladega. There's Colton Lane at the very back, 198. You see Onjak, 197. So he has to get up to 200 here soon, and he's not really doing that. This front pack is definitely pulling away from that second group, so that is a bad thing for guys like Peter Onjak, Kukulon, Porta, Reed. One, because they are trapped with Kukulon in the same pack, so they're not going to gain too much, because that 19 is probably going to be able to drive back up to the front. And 2, they are not going to catch up to that front group and be able to fight again for this race win, which could really kill him. But Foster is taking the lead now. Bowers is going to leave him. Carson wants to go for this. He wants to win a race this year. Foster has a win. Bowers does not. Strigley is up here. You got Spurley 2, Burkhart, Jeff Alloway, Jay Jefferson, Irving Allison, Friesen, Cody Goforth, Max Anderson, Matthew Eves, Hagan, Neal, Evan Hunter, Morris, Benyako, and Lane. That is your top group, and that is your top 18 who are pulling away from Onjack, Duncan, SWJ. We're going to go to the ticker here and see the gap. It was 2.99, 3.04, so Duncan's going to leave Onjack there, and they're losing pretty much a tenth a lap to that front pack, meaning they are not going to catch up without something drastic happening. But they are 3x3 up front, 2x2 at the very front, but 3x3 behind. These packs trying to form up, trying to work together and get back up there. The 81 or the 07 had a flat tire. That's why he was on pit road. And now Luke Evans is the only car off the pace at the very back of that one. But at least Alex Fletcher, I will give him the benefit of the doubt. The 07 did not crash the field like Christian Vargas did at the end of the truck race. But these guys now 3x3. This could be slowing them down enough. I'm going to keep the ticker on that gap in 18th, 19th, 20th just to see if that second pack can catch it all. But with them fighting, I don't think they will. It was 3.04 last time, and with Duncan leading that time, 3.09, so only about half a tenth. But if they kept that 44 out in front, I think they could really be cooking with some gasoline out there. But now it's Duncan out in front. Nothing against these guys at the back, but what you really need to catch up is a fast car leading the draft that has some good aero, good engine, good chassis, good car ratings, really, to get you back to the front, because it is all about pace when you're leading the field. And that's what Carson Bowers is doing right now over Riley Spurley-Tube, Cody Goforth, Tib Foster, Matthew Eaves. We're going to go ahead, take a quick commercial break. We'll bring you guys back to the action here at the Stand Up to Cancer 500 at Talladega. Carson Bowers trying to get his first career win in the Cup Series. We'll see if he can do it. The two packs splitting up. We'll see if Duncan can catch back up to that front pack with the rest of the field. Back live here at Talladega as we got a battle for the race lead. Goforth slingshotted by Spurley-Tube, now right to the bottom of Bowers, and is going to take Spurley-Tube with him. 25 car going to drop on back. It looks like to third as Cody Goforth is going to pick up this race lead. That second pack has not been making time. It's been losing about 2 to 3 tenths a lap now with the 39 and 20 fighting for spots back there. Jeff Alloway moving himself up to fourth. Burkhart and Eaves fighting for that fifth position. Top 18 still in this front pack, and that second pack not gaining at all as they are still 2x2, 3 wide. So if anything's going to happen, it's going to be these guys crashing before they catch back up to that front pack, I feel. But this is a big day for the 19 of Kukulon. You see the 44 to the inside. Onjack has to be very upset that he was stuck in this second pack, because really you're not going to gain too much if Kukulon is in the pack with you and this race doesn't go green or goes green all the way, as SWJ and Butcher are all over each other. But Onjack sits 83 points back. When you're at the back of this, the bottom 9 spots all give about 1 point. The bottom 8 spots in this pack will give all 1 point. The best you can get, I think, is about, with Matty Porta being in 19th, you should probably get 29 points there, I think, if the math is correct. Either way, you're not gaining too much on Kukulon. You're not getting back within a race, even if the 19 of Kukulon finishes in the back. Kukulon, though, he is not happy about this, because this could cost him a chance at the championship. Well, he still will have a chance, but this could cost him a walkaway with the championship. The 55 is in the front pack. So is the 60. The 17's leading. The 16's up there. The 48 and the 40 are all up there. That's most of your top 8 that are all chasing Kukulon down very quickly. So the 19 is hoping either this pack forms up and we get to catch back up to the top spot, or someone goes around and he gets through it. Back up front, though, it is all Cody Goforth out in front. Jefferson and Bowers, they've led a couple laps this race, kind of back-to-back. So this 48 and 25 starting the charge to the front. Bowers, a poor entrance through the corner, is going to give Alloway and Burkhart a chance back to the inside as they go down this back straightaway. Still 18 cars in this front pack. And if you're looking at it, this is a very good chance to see some underdog winners here. Carson Bowers in the Cup Series. He could be classified as an underdog winner. Spurley-Tube, Alloway, Burkhart, all in this fight. You got Max Anderson, Evan Hunter, the part-timer, and Alex Benyako in his final season trying to get 1 win to put himself into victory lane and possibly walk away from the series with a race win in the Cup Series. And more importantly for Benyako, if he wins a Cup race, he'd join the triple winners club, who have won a race in all 3 series. But he only has basically this year, these final 4 races, to do so in that 83. This could be the best time for him to get him into victory lane for the last time. Evan Hunter is in this. Dusty Neal trying to get CFRO another win. Eves could get CFRO a win as Jefferson's going to look for the race lead up front. You also got Hagen, who is leaving at, TSR at the end of the season. He's going, I believe, to SBR. And you got Joseph Strigley, who's still in this front pack, who could just sneak away with a top 10, top 5, or a race win for that organization. But there's the 55. And if I'm being honest, this is probably what most of the field wants to see as well. The 55 is still 17 points over Colton Lane, and Colton Lane is 9 points over Goforth. So with all these guys running where they are, if the 60 and the 55 finish near the back of this front pack, and the 19 finishes in the second pack, that could bring that top of the standings right back down and sandwich them back together to a possible more than just the 19 and 55 running away with the title. Is Jeff Alloway, top to bottom, 3 wide for the race lead down the back straightaway. He's going against 2 of the chase contenders that want to win this race, and he says, I don't care what the haters have to say. This man who got his ride in the Cup Series with no other experience in the NSDCA got a ride at a top team as they're 4 wide behind him. Anderson tucks back in. But Jeff Alloway now out in front, leading the field in that 91 and really showing that he is a diehard plate racer. He has the experience now, I guess, in super speedway racing. This is going to be 2 in a row in super speedway races he's led. Next season with Pedal Metal Racing expanding to 2 cars. Not sure if the 91 will go to Jeff Alloway or will it go to team boss Carter Friesen. Friesen, who sits back here just outside the top 10 in that 85 car. But there you see them down the back straightaway. It's now 5 seconds between this top pack and this second group, now being paced by Sebastian Kugelon. So that's not what half of this field wants to see that is behind him. Because now it's going to be super hard to get that 19 out of the way, especially with Murray behind him. We'll see, though. Could this be the duo that could lead those guys back up to the front? I really doubt it, as they're going to come across the line. 5.83 seconds last time. That was with DeLello leading. And Kugelon this time by... drops it to 5.91. So they're still losing time, but look at this front group now. They're starting to get single file. And if this field, this group right here could get single file, that'd be pretty big, as Onjack is going very big on a big move there with Jesse Turner forced 4 wide. Now they're 4 wide down the back. 2 Toyotas, a Chevy, and a Dodge in that mix. Edson trying not to be in it as William Duncan is getting pushed up by Anderson Reed. They're making contact down the back. Almost into the wall goes the 04, but he was able to keep it straight. And a great car control by the 33 and 04. No caution there, which is probably disappointing for everyone in that second pack. But we are still clean and green as Jeff Alloway leads over Max Anderson in second. And what would it be? 91 of Jeff Alloway. Everyone says that he is not deserving of that ride. But he's come out here and had so much hype behind him after some good finishes. He's almost won at Daytona earlier this season. This 91 team's doing very well with that team, but what would it be for Max Anderson, another driver who has not made a lot of friends in the garage area, who has been said that he also doesn't deserve his ride? They're both inside the top 5, and though it is a super speedway, you still got to be pretty good at maneuvering traffic and have a fast car to be running up here in the front, but now he is leading that second line on the outside, 2x2 between all of them. As Kugelon actually just barely picked up some spots, picked up some time on that second, or on that first pack. So this second group, now that they're single file, they could be outpacing that front group. It was only by like a couple hundredths, but across the line there, and that's a 10th. So if these guys stay single file with Kugelon, if they can all form up together and have this 19 lead them, they could possibly catch back up by the end. If you're gaining a 10th a lap, it's still going to take... you know, you're about 5 seconds back. It'd still take 50 laps. So they're not out of the way yet, but if these guys battle up in front, if they fight and claw for positions and start slowing each other down, well, that second group stays single file and tucked up with the faster cars at the front. You could see some of these guys catching up to those guys right at the end. Now you also got to remember, as the ticker went down, Luke Evans in the 81 is off the pace. He has no drafting help. He's running about 190 on his own, so that could be big for this. But now these front guys are also starting to get single-filed out as Kugelon continues to pace and catch slowly to these guys. Now they're starting to get single-filed out in front with Jeff Alloway pacing the field. Well, never mind, as Neal is going to take that move and decide he wants to get to the bottom. Foster as well, so if these guys keep battling, we could see that second pack catch up, but I don't know if they'll have enough time. They're probably hoping on this 81 to slow that field up even more because they possibly could slow them up enough to get that run from the second group, especially now Burkhart. He's gone 1.48 seconds back, and Kukulon's only 5.6, so that's now 4 seconds between those two packs. But now we are single file in the back, but 2 by 2 and 3 wide further up. It looks like Nicky Morris in the 34 starting to lose the draft as well as they come down this front straightaway into the corner. Kukulon picked up another about 10th there on those guys, so we'll see as they're getting racy up in front, 3 and 4 wide. Alex Benyako moving. Dusty Neal has taken the lead. You got 2 Dodges on the inside. GDI, who has had an alliance with GDI for a while, and CFRO. Those two have had an alliance is what I'm trying to say here. But it's Dusty Neal out in front, Evan Hunter and Matthew Eves to third. Foster, who owns CFRO till the end of this season, of course. He's back there fighting for 5th. Fighting for 4th against Alex Benyako, who's now getting it up here. And look at the top 4 would all be Chase spoilers. Neal already won at Mosport, and the rest of the field there, Eves, Evan Hunter, Benyako, they're looking for their first Cup Series win if they can get it done here. But now you got a hungry Chase field behind the 48, 40, 85, 60, and 17 all in that. You got the 16 and 55 still at the back of that one. Kukulon still leading this group. It's down to 5.5 seconds, but I don't know if they're going to have... I don't think they're catching fast enough now, as Onjak's actually trying. I think he wants to go back up and lead this group, or at least get ahead of the 19. I think he knows it's probably going to be too little too late. They got 30 laps to do so, which is a long time, but you're only gaining maybe a 10th a lap, if that, which is going to take a long time here at Talladega to fight and scrape your way back up. But again, we do have Luke Evans just entering turn 1 further up. We'll see what the lappers do to possibly bring that gap down. 2 by 2 up front as Jefferson's fighting his way back towards the front. Carter Friesen up there, Larry Hagan and Riley Spurlitube. So as we've said, TSR has super speedway supremacy, at least at Talladega for sure. And now we could see their 2 drivers help push this 48 to the front as Jefferson is going for that top spot and will take it away. That time by Kukulon did not gain anything on the field ahead of him. Jefferson, though, is going to gain the race lead away from Dusty Neal. 2 by 2 still up in front, still 18 cars in this front pack. Way you get things done here at Talladega, you got to have partners, you got to have help, you got to work the draft. The Dodges looking like they are the ones trying to take home this win. Look at that, top 7 cars all from Dodge. Then you got a Toyota, a Chevy, and a couple Toyotas. The 55, the 17, they've won many races this year. 8 combined between the 2 of them. We're trying to see if we'll have another upset winner or a different winner this season. Even Jay Jefferson. Jefferson and Foster could really be upset winners this season. Jefferson and Foster only have 1 win apiece. Tibbs come off of seasons that he's had 2 or 3 wins. Jefferson, of course, coming off of a double championship with 10 wins total in the Cup and Truck Series. That 48 team now, as you see Luke Evans just ahead. Kukulon, though, has been slowly gaining. Now we will see what this does to this front pack as Jefferson is going to catch Luke Evans into the corner. He's going to have to try to swing to the outside of that 81. Might be able to pick him up to this front pack as Friesen jumps to the bottom. Friesen's not going to get a run there, and it's going to stack him up. It's going to stack him up behind Carter Friesen. So this is what that second pack wants to see. You look at the back, mostly single file down the back straightaway. And 2 by 2, 3 wide up here as they all got checked up by the 81. I don't think it's going to hold them up enough for anything to matter, but we will see where it is with Kukulon with now that 44 Onjak all over the back of him. You got to remember that 19 being out in front, it's wasting a lot more gas, so it might be a faster car in that 19 as they come to the end. It is 1 fuel tank for these races that you can make it to the end of the race on. No pit stops needed at Talladega. And we're going to take a look at the ticker once again. 5.48 last time by, and he gained 4/10 that time with the 81 slowing down. Now this front pack kind of staying single file, but the rear is definitely choking up, and it's down to about 4.9 seconds between the back of the front pack and the lead of that second pack. We'll see if they can catch up. The 81 is still really slow. He's 2:01 in that, but definitely not the fastest it could be on that outside line, as that front pack now of 5 have gotten single file. 2 TSR, 2 CFRO, and of course your current points leader as they run, the 55 of Brandon Morris. CFRO jumping to the inside of Spurley Tube, though. They're going to break it up. Eves knows what TSR looks for. It's push that 48, because he'll get you out into the race lead and pull away from the field. And now Eves not going to have Dusty Neal helping him there, as Kukulon gained another 10th that time by on the ticker. Bauer's going to get a huge run to the outside of Morris. Look at him look at how fast he is. If I can get those words out, clearing him by 3 miles per hour shooting off the corner. What a run by the 25, jumps him to 5th. Irving's going to go right to the inside of Morris, who almost cuts him off as the rest of the field continues cycling around. There is Burkhardt at the tail end. He's 2 seconds back now. These guys are only 3 seconds behind that lead pack, so the 19 is bringing these guys as fast as he can, as long as they stay single file behind him. And Kukulon is the man you wanted to lead this second pack, at least to catch him up. And this time by, it goes from 4.93 to 4.92 only, so not too much of a gain, but they still have not worked their way through Luke Evans yet, and that front pack is still just a bit splintered as the top 5 stay single file. Neal is going to jump for it. Spurley Tube's going to jump for it. Bowers doesn't know where to go. They're 3 wide for the second position. All Jay Jefferson out in front, though. He's enjoying this here in that 48 car. One more time, we're going to go ahead to another commercial break. Bring you guys back for the end of this Talladega event. Will the second pack catch him? Do they have enough time? I don't know if they will, but we'll see what happens here at the Stand Up to Cancer 500. We're going to come back earlier as expected, because Riley Spurleytube just took the whole train down to the inside of Jefferson and left the 48 out to dry as Bauer snuck by to make it 3 wide. Now Dusty Neal looking to do the same thing to the 55 of Morris. They're getting these chase contenders out of here, it looks like. They don't want any of the big guns up here. They want to see an underdog win. CFRO, TSR, right up here. Here comes Irving Allison, and they're back 3 wide up here as Irving gets real close to Eves. And that second pack has caught by a pretty quick margin, but with these guys being 3 wide back there, Onjak needs to jump down in front of SWJ to give the 19 a push. But the 19's been working double time to try to get them back up. It's down to about 3.5 seconds, but this pack back here is not working together with them as they stay 2 by 2. Now, Nicky Morris fell off that front pack a little bit ago. He is just making it into turn 1. Austin Johnson, Alex Fletcher is well slow, so there's about a straightaway between this front pack and the next lap car. And with 22 laps to go this time by, we'll see if they can catch him. Non-Jada 1-2. Carson Bowers leading the field. Irving Allison moving his way up into 3rd. Dusty Neal 4th. Matthew Eves in 5th. Morris 6th. Benyako 7th. Strigley back to 8th. Jefferson 9th. And Hagen in 10th. Evan Hunter 11th. Spurleytube 12th. Gofor 13th. Burkhardt 14th. Lane 15th. Jeff Alloway 16th. Max Anderson 17th in that 12 car, so that means we're missing someone. The 28's got an oil leak for one, and the 85 of Carter Friesen, I don't know when that happened. His day is done. The 85 is out of the race, and that is going to put the nail in the coffin for Carter Friesen's championship hopes. As there you see Spurleytube jumping down pit road. We saw he had an oil leak on the 28, and that is going to take Spurleytube out of the fight. Lucky that didn't happen in the truck race yesterday, but that will take that 28 out after such a good run today. And look at that top 5 in a line. 3 chase contenders: Austin Murray, Stephen Wallace Jr., Yepes Curtis right there. That's going to be a pretty fast group back there. But they've kind of stalled out. So Carter Friesen out of this race. Spurleytube drops out. That's 1 less car in this. 16 cars in the front pack now as Irving Allison jumps to the inside. And he's going to go for the race lead, having a Toyota partner, and Alex Benyako getting up here. And Benyako was teammates to Irving last season in the Truck Series. Both of them ended up winning chase races. Irving hasn't won a chase race yet, but Benyako's trying to. You got Larry Hagen in there. Hagen's only win coming on the road course last season at Pensacola. But what would it mean for this 63 team to get into victory lane? Chevy has not really worked well together outside of Monster Motorsports. pretty much dominating the manufacturer. Strigley was in the fight for the chase this year. If he somehow got a win, he could have snuck in with the wild card run, still fighting in the top 20 in points. He is pretty much the only independent driver up here, with the 35 of Evan Hunter also having pretty much no help, I'd say, except maybe CFRO working with him, and the RER number 12 of Max Anderson. We got a lot of individual teams up here. We'll see if any of them can get it, but Joseph Strigley's come so close many times this season and last season, and he's finally got that full-time sponsorship with Alpha Prime, trying to make use of it as he goes 3 wide up there. Irving Allison pacing the field in that 16 car over Hagan. Tib Foster maintaining a top 5 run in that 40 car. And Strigley's now going to bring that inside line with a charge up on Bowers, Benyako, Goforth, and Eves. As you see, it is now down 3.98 seconds between this second group and the first one. Roughly about 3 seconds between them. We'll see what they can do as this race continues on. We saw Nicky Morris just a little further ahead. No, that's actually Spurley Tube a little further ahead in the 28. So look at that. They're about 10 miles per hour running without draft and single. So that is 2 lap cars up here in the 34 and 28. If they lost 4/10 to 1 lap car of Luke Evans, who was just barely hanging on to that front draft, they could lose 8/10 here and bring him within 2 seconds. So this 19 team of Kukulon is doing everything he can with Onjak and DeLello in tow to try to get this second pack to catch back up and fight for this race win. Looks like the HBP06 is hanging on in 33rd, Roger Ray in 34th, but Fletcher, Austin Johnson, Nicky Morris, Spurley Tube have all fallen back. Foster jumps down, and with it, his dueler at Pensacola last season. Those two dominated the race. That was the closest Strigley's ever been to a race win. Was fighting in the race lead in top 2 at Pensacola, and they're going to go nose to tail. Foster to the lead, but Strigley wants to lead this race. Jumps to the inside of the 44, or to the 40. He'll try to make it work. Will not get there without the help of Cody Goforth, as Goforth now gets shoved to the middle, and Strigley is now pushing the race leader. Coming around 17 laps to go. There's Matthew Eves, the tail end of this pack. There is Kukulon now as the second group starting to fight each other. DeLello has been dispatched by Curtis. All this braking in the pack is slowing them down, but it could be generating some runs. It's down to about 3 seconds there in the 1944. They're working on Luke Evans. They might be in the draft of the 81, and we'll see as Joseph Strigley in the 63 wants to get himself to the race lead, and here he comes off a turn 4. Larry Hagan might be able to get up there to push him, and we'll see if the 63 team can get themselves a lap led here at Talladega. The fans on their feet for the Canadian-born driver, the independent team owner, Joseph Strigley, is going to get this lap led as he goes across the line and will lead this lap for JSR. Big for that team, but Foster fights right back on the outside as Colton Lane gets shoved up by Morris. They're going to have a very compromised inside line there as Strigley maintains just beside Foster. Tibb might have the momentum coming back, but you see just ahead of him is Riley Spurley Tube and the rest of the field. Luke Evans is going to be a big factor in what this second pack does, as they are now 2 and 3 wide back here. What are they doing? Trying to get around this 81 car. I don't know. I don't understand why they would dispatch the 19, but I know the 44 doesn't want the 19 leading. There is Luke Evans now about 10 miles per hour down. So this could cost them big. I think they've lost already. Yeah, they've lost about 2/10 fighting for that top spot. Now Murray slides to the inside of the 81, so that is going to cost them even more as Strigley continues to lead this race there in that 63 car. But here comes Spurley Tube and Nicky Morris. We'll be getting 2 lap cars for 1 here, which could be good for that front pack. But now that second group is definitely long gone. The 19 and 44 in a fight as they're trying to get by the 81. And here they come down the back straightaway. Goforth leading that. Spurley Tube going to pick up that spot on Nicky. Well, not... will he pick up the spot? I don't think Spurley Tube's on the lead lap. Actually, yes, he is. So that is for position as Joseph Strigley's coming up to take these lappers on, swinging to the very outside. He's going to let Nicky go to the bottom, and that's where Nicky's going to stay. And as that 63 car is going to continue to soar into the race lead, now getting back up with Spurley Tube. Riley does not want to wreck any of these guys. He knows he's been racing with them all day long. Heartbreaking for the 28 car, but now Joseph Strigley out in front. Honestly, I'd ride around behind the 28. He's probably a little faster than you over at JSR. But now Dusty Neal is moving himself up to second. Here comes the 55 back into the top 5 in that Viagra car. 3 wide behind him. Nicky Morris trying to get himself worked through the pack. Looking back, there it is now about back up to 3.5 seconds between the top two packs, with Austin Murray losing that time. Nicky working his way through, and there you see Murray now leading with Kukulon and Onjak back there. Looks like that second pack's starting to get racy. Either that or they just need to line back up, but I think at some point you start to accept that you're probably not going to catch these guys with 14 laps to go. Dusty Neal now taking the race lead away. Max Anderson moving up to second. Got a lot of guys who could upset today here in the chase. You see all those yellow spoilers. That means they're fighting for a championship, fighting for every point they can. Those guys without the yellow spoilers, they're just fighting for a race win to end their season. And currently in the top 5, none of them, currently in the top 5, 3 of them have not had a Cup Series win. 2 of them have never won in the NSDCA, being Max Anderson and Joseph Strigley. Dusty Neal, of course, with 2 wins. Irving Allison got his debut win earlier this season. We see one more lap car ahead. I believe that is the 51 of Austin Johnson. They're going to catch him. That will change this field and this pack once again. Coming around 12 laps to go with Talladega. There is Austin Johnson in that 51 car. Alex Fletcher, I don't know if they're going to catch him. I don't think Colton Yo will be caught. Neither will Roger Ray. And there's that second pack as they are fighting. Kukulon back to the front of it. That's not good for the 57, 44, and the 3 and the 20. They all got to get by that 19 if they want to stay alive in the championship fight. That second pack as they are really making moves there. Irving Allison, Jay Jefferson, Joseph Strigley almost just crashed into each other as they were trying to work by the 51. So a big moment there coming into turn number 3. Almost could have caused our big one. Carson Bowers, though, right on the back of Max Anderson. 2nd and 3rd, never won a Cup Series race. Matthew Eves in 6th has never won, and Burkhart hasn't won since last season. Could be a big day for him, as Irving's going to say he does not care. Tried to make a move. Jefferson back into 5th, though. This could be the big time for the 48 as he's going top to bottom, trying to get any momentum he can as that top group works their way past all the lappers. And there's a problem in the back. It's the 35 of Evan Hunter. An issue on the 35 car. That second pack now going to catch that that back of the top pack very rapidly as Foster Goforth Lane held up by it. That brings Kukulon back into the fight here in that 19. DeLello's in it as well. This will be more cars to that front pack. They can catch up a little bit faster, but that's breaking up this front group more and more. Dusty Neal continuing to lead this race in the 94. Can he hang on to the end? And this front pack now is very, very splintered. They're still hanging on, still should all be in the draft as Strigley's trying to work past Austin Johnson real quick. I think Strigley's actually going to lose the draft because of the 51. He's holding him up a whole ton and not going to give him the preferred line is Austin Johnson. Now he's going to be able to get by him. I think that might have cost Strigley the draft. I don't know if he can hang on and catch back up that fast. But that's going to leave us with about, I think, 11 cars in this front group. 12, 13, I think, with Strigley. And these are going to be the guys fighting for the race win. That second pack will not catch up in time. As Jefferson's going for second, he wants to get back up there and say goodbye to the underdog story in Dusty Neal, though this couldn't even be an underdog story. This could be Neal's 3rd career win in the Cup Series. If he could win today here at Dega, won a couple weeks ago at Mosport, won last season at Memphis. Jay Jefferson, though, the winningest driver in the Cup Series. Until I think Morris passed him, because Morris had 2 wins last year, 5 this season. Kukulon, of course, no wins last year, and Jefferson with only 1 this year, but he's looking to put himself back into the fight for that as he jumps to the inside. He's going to leave Dusty Neal high and dry, and Neal, though, will be able to drop back, possibly in front or behind of his teammate Matthew Eves in that A-Shock number 47. Irving Allison all over Jefferson in 2nd, though. What these guys want to see is this 55 drop to the rear of this pack and finish 12th. That would be the best possible opportunity for those chase guys that are left in this front group. There's Evan Hunter on pit road. Kukulon now picking spots up left and right in that 19, and that's probably going to put the hammer home for a few of these guys. Kukulon now is already back up to 13th after he could have finished this race 20th or worse. We'll see how that goes. Single file up in front, though. I don't think these guys want to be caught by that second pack. I don't think they want to make moves yet as Benyako goes down with Neal. They're going to jump to the inside as the 55 is going to be stuck to the outside. Eves going to be shoved back as well in that 47. You got Burkhart and Jeff Alloway, Carson Bowers, Joseph Strigley. But now the question is, with the 48 out in front, can you get by him, and can you get by Irving Allison to get it here at the end? Irving tried to lay back, get Neal to push him. He's not going to push him. 55 forced 3 wide with Eves and Alloway. Neal on the bottom to the inside into second, and he has Alex Benyako pushing him. Remember, Benyako retiring at the end of this season. This is possibly his last chance at a race win. This 83 team could get themselves up there. Alloway, Burkhart, Bowers, Srigley, Eves, all inside the top 10. Most of them have never had a win in the NSDCA or in the Cup Series. Bowers, Srigley, Eves, Alloway, Benyako never won in the Cup Series. Neither has Max Anderson, who is just sitting right off the tail end of this pack. But Dusty Neal might have to mount a charge on Jay Jefferson. It's going to be really hard to get that 48 out of the top spot. But we see just ahead, there is Alex Fletcher. He's already played one issue in this race. He split up the top pack. We'll see if he splits this one up as well, as Alloway jumps to the inside of Jefferson. Coming around, 6 laps to go with Talladega. Benyako lines back up in 4th. Jefferson looking to the outside of Fletcher coming off of turn number 2. We'll see what he does, and Fletcher's going to stay right in the middle. Going to let that 48 get by. Holds up Neal, holds up Jeff Alloway. So now Jefferson could be a sitting duck once they get past him, as Burkhart, forcing his way to the inside of Benyako, is going to dispatch him. Now Alex Fletcher just gave Jay Jefferson a giant lead, but could that be the downfall for Jay? These guys are going to have such a run catching back up to him, if they can clear the 07, that is. None of them were able to get by him there. Jeff Alloway, he's been able to get by the 48 in this race, moving his way to second. Burkhart, Bowers, Srigley all on that inside line, could be in the top 5 before the end of this one, as the 55, 16, 83, 94, 12 are going to be screwed by Alex Fletcher. But look at Brady Burkhart trying to force that 07 out of the way. Fletcher doesn't want to give up yet, but here comes Alloway, going to have a big run in that Windcraft 91. This could be the chance he needs. Jumping to the inside immediately on Jefferson. Jay is going to let him go by, and here comes Jeff Alloway looking for his first career win in the NSDCA. If he can get by him here and hold on for 3 more laps into turn number 3, give it to the 91. Burkhart's going to jump to second, and Alex Fletcher needs to get out of this top group, because he is now going to take that spot and take the track position away from the 48, keeping that himself on the inside line. Jeff Alloway never won in the NSDCA, only has about 15 starts under his belt, looking to win here at Talladega. Still a long way to go, though, for that 91 team. Joseph Srigley in the 63. He is between 2 lap cars now, but these are guys he's been fighting all season in the mid-pack and back of the pack. The 07, Alex Fletcher's made a lot of starts, but the 28 has worked with him. Never mind. Sperlitube's not going to go with him that time. Srigley cannot get by the 07. He's going to jump up behind Jefferson and try to get that momentum to push him. Burkhart's not going to be able to get by the 91 without help, as the 48 of Jefferson is trying to clear Alex Fletcher and cannot. The lappers getting in the way of this thing here at the end. As they come off the corner, there's going to be 3 to go. Sperlitube jumps up with Jefferson. That clears the 48 into 3rd, and now Jay can set his sights back on trying to win this race. Jeff Alloway out in front over Burkhart, Jefferson, Neal, and Srigley are top 5. But now Srigley is going to be shoved right to the back, because Alex Fletcher, again, not getting out of the way in that 07. But again, even running on their own, they weren't losing enough time to be taken out by the damaged vehicle policy. There is the 06 191. These guys are only running about 200, as Jefferson's looking for second. They are real close, 3 wide behind him. Srigley stuck in the middle trying to make something happen. Irving pushing Alex Fletcher out of the way. 2 to go, this time by Jeff Alloway in the lead, but Jay Jefferson hot on his heels in second. If anyone's going to be able to take a one-on-one for the race lead, it's this 48 car. Irving Allison, though, bringing that 16 up in the rear. 2 to go this time. The rookie, Jeff Alloway, just got signed to this car early in the season after Logan Cloud left it. He's not going to be able to block him there. Jefferson right back to the inside, and I think that's going to be it, but Alloway hanging strong on the outside, trying to hang on over Jay, using everything he can to try to win this race. There's Neal, Burkhart, Irving Allison behind him. Will Neal go with the 48? Will he go for a 3-wide move? He's pushing Jay down the back straightaway. Larry Hagan forcing his way up here. Joseph Srigley as well, coming around. White flag this time. And Jefferson back to the point. That's going to end Jeff Alloway's hopes and dreams of winning this race. But Dusty Neal and Irving Allison's are still alive if they can make the move down this front straightaway or down the back straightaway. Irving's going to jump to the inside of Neal. That forces him out. Coming around, Jay Jefferson is in the lead. White flag is in the air, looking to get himself his second victory this season in 23 races. Jay is out in front, the longest losing streak since he finally got back into victory lane 3 years ago for that 48 team. He's coming now down the back straightaway. Irving Allison in second. Does he have anything for the 48? Does he have any momentum? Hagan and Srigley side by side behind with Neal and Alloway. They're not going to have a push. I don't think the 06 of Yo is going to matter, and I don't think Irving's going to matter. Jay Jefferson in this 48 car dominated this race. He's led all this time, and coming out of turn number 4, all he has to do is not let that 16 by. Irving is going to stay tucked up right behind him, doesn't want to lose any spots, and through the tri-oval yet again, Jay Jefferson is going to win at Talladega. A long train of cars behind. This is going to shake the field up a whole lot. Jay Jefferson wins. It's all he could do. This is the best he could do to salvage a chance at a championship this year, and I think he did just that, because with Kukulon finishing that far back and him getting 52 points for a race win, this is going to put him within about 50 points of the 19 and the 55. Irving Allison salvages a second. Look at Larry Hagan. Great run by him in third. Joseph Srigley fourth, and Ben Yako is going to round out that top 5. Jeff Alloway ends up 8th at the end of the day. Matthew Eves in a top 10. Brady Burkhart top 10. There's Max Anderson. And that is what these guys up front wanted to see, is the 55 12th, the 19 13th. It's not enough, but it's a big change there. Onjak comes home 14th. Cody Goforth flying through the grass and is going to take out Jesse Turner. Goforth frustrated. He fell back really quickly in this race. And we'll go back down the order there. Onjak 14th, DeLello 16th, Foster falls to 17th. Aiden Smith the top 20 for the 01 team. Porta 21st, Reed 22nd, Curtis 27th, Goforth 26th, Yepes 30th. So all of Monster finishes outside the top 30 or top 20 except Colton Lane and Zachary DeLello. And Carter Friesen's chase hopes are done. His engine expired. His day is done. Cody Goforth is going to lose a lot of time and points. That's going to put him out more than a race behind. I think that brings the 48 back into contention. The 16's definitely back into contention. Colton Lane, Brandon Morris, Kukulon. So I think there's your 5 guys fighting for that title. Onjak's going to lose more time. He's going to go 84 points back. Foster is going to be about 84 back as well. It's all going to come down to Iowa, Auto Club, and Kansas for the final 3 races of the season, fighting for those championship runs. Jay Jefferson was able to sneak by right at the end and take home the victory, upsetting the guys who wanted to upset the chase contenders this year. A good race was had. Once they got spread out, though, and split up, we were hoping for that second pack to catch up, but they couldn't just stop squabbling. Lost a ton of time fighting Sebastian Kukulon. Ended up not being able to make it back to the front, but they gave a valiant effort, gained about 2 seconds there at the end, so a great run by the 19 team to hang on to that front pack and finish himself 13th. Peter Onjak, great job by him getting as close to the 19 as possible, but it's probably going to be too little too late for him. As I said, 19, 55, 60, 16, 48 might be your 5 fighting into Iowa, but still, anything can happen. A great weekend here at Talladega. Had 3 awesome races. We'll be sure to see you for the next triple header at Iowa. Only 3 races for the Cup Series, 3 races for the Truck, and 2 for the Mountain Dew Custom Series remain before we crown our series champions. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time on the NSDCA.